Welcome, everybody. We got people in the chat. Happy Thursday night. It is Comic Smack Talk Live. Me and Rob are getting cocky here. We're such big deals. Like we're launching the show like 11 minutes late, and making people sit and wait in the chat. We're such big deals now.
We got to start doing the preview videos that go on for 15 minutes, and then we show up. Then we don't have to feel guilty.
I gotta work on a preview video, but we definitely need that because people will run their. It's like 15 minutes into the show and like the video ends, but
there's common use videos that you can use.
Oh yeah,
for YouTube.
I just literally haven't spent the time yet, but eventually, hey, we've been doing the show for a few months now, so eventually we're gonna class up the joint a little bit, but. Let's say hey to the chat. We got a bunch of guys in here already, man. Hail Randy, what's up, brother? Thank you guys for being in the chat tonight. Southern Cecil in the house. Howdy, brother. What's going on? We got Marcus. What's going on? Hail, Marcus. So welcome all. Thank you guys for being here tonight. We got some fun topics, a lot of stuff going on. Right now it's San Diego Comic-Con. It's kind of where the cool people aren't, it's no offense to everybody who's been there, but to me, Comic-Con is year round. Like this is Comic-Con right now. It's like hanging out with the fans, talking comics. We're doing this every night. I'm not going to spend $500 a night for a hotel room that's 25 miles away from the convention center. And then I had to spend $35 in Uber waiting through a bunch of drug addicts and homeless people just to get to the convention. San Diego used to be awesome. I don't think San Diego is awesome anymore, but that's just me.
Okay, Clint, question then, because you just threw down a lot of opinions.
Yeah.
When's the last time you were in San Diego for the Comic-Con?
2010-ish, I think. Okay,
so you've been there. I was there in 2003. That was the only. So 20. I haven't been there in 20 years. Mm-hmm. So you've been there since. So yours is 13 years ago. Now, one thing, all the big shots always stayed at the hotel that was connected to the convention.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How expensive is that now? If you were saying $500 for 20 minutes away.
Like literally, I was buddies with a big shot, and he was cheap as hell, and I knew it. So I asked him, I'm like, do you want to split a room? And he's like, because what how it goes, like DC or Marvel will buy blocks of rooms that are the good hotels connected to the convention center.
Yeah, yeah.
And so my buddy got one of those rooms, but you're still paying for it for yourself at a discounted rate through the whatever block that you got it through. And so he's like, he's like, you want to split half the room price? And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Because these were the good rooms at the discounted rate, split in half. So it was cheaper than the best hotel that I could find. So the last time I went, I had a nice room close to the convention center. And literally, and you can back this up, it's a sad state of affairs because San Diego is whatever I just said. San Diego is so much fun. San Diego is awesome. There's just everything to see there, especially in a non-strike year. There's just celebrities. I was this close to Jessica Alba, and she is just gorgeous.
Of course. That's why she is where she is.
Nathan Fillion. I got a great picture with Nathan Fillion, our new Guy Guardian. Our Guy Gardner. I saw so many celebrities, got to take pictures with them and stuff. It's San Diego's awesome. If you can ever go absolutely do it. But literally, this guy was there to make money, and I get a lot of the pros, they're there to make money. And if he wasn't on the convention floor doing sketches, he was in the hotel room doing sketches, and it was all commissions. It was all con sketches, and he was. I'm sure he was charging. I didn't ask him. I'm sure he was charging buku dinero, but he was going to draw as many. He wasn't going out. He already had a contract or whatever. he wasn't going out to like meet editors. He was there to draw sketches and make as many commissions as he could. And God bless him, that's, whatever.
So what was the rate of the hotel then? So we're talking 2010. And this was
the
a discounted
rate through whatever publisher. I can't even remember what publisher was. $400. And that's a discount.
That does sound like, because I know that the rate is like $5.
So I'm betting it was $600 a night for this hotel. Another time when I stayed, and it was like where you take the bus, in, and again, split a room with somebody. This was $400 a night, split a room, $200 a piece. But it was probably a 15-20 minute bus ride to just get in the line to get into the convention. So there's so many people. You can't ever describe how many people are at San Diego until you go there. And I mean, like you said, you were there in the early 2000s, but I'm guessing it was busy as fuck because I remember those days too.
Yeah, nothing like having to wait in line just across the street.
Yeah.
But I got there, I think, before the real explosion.
The big, yeah. I would say like 2006, 2000. When was Twilight?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Twilight
that's when it went nutty.
Really went over the top because all the Twihards showed up.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, because they had all the stars from the movie.
Yeah, when Twilight hit San Diego, that's when the movie studios were like, "Oh, yeah, okay, we can drop a movie in here, and it's going to actually affect the bottom line and the box office.
It's going to generate a lot of excitement." Yeah.
Because that was probably like early, like 2003, 2004, 2005, right in that window. So
now my hotel was driving a rental car was between 20 and 30 minutes from the hotel from the convention.
Driving a rental car to get to where did you go to the convention?
Well, do you remember across the street where there used to be an empty lot?
Yeah, I mean,
there used to be an empty lot like right across the street from the convention center.
And you could park there?
For like $20, you could park there in 2003.
Oh, wow.
But dude, my hotel room was on the way to Mexico. So it was a motel. Motel didn't look bad. $44 a night. So can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Are you sure you were still in California?
Can you imagine trying to get me to San Diego Comic-Con now? Like people will post on Twitter like, "Hey, we got to get all the Comicsgate creators to San Diego Comic-Con."
No.
And I'm like, "Sure, no problem. As soon as my book hits 100K, my last hotel I spent, and I split it, so it wasn't even $44 a night."
Yeah, there's better. Like I know a bunch of people are doing Tampa at the end of June, and I know Ethan and a bunch of guys did New Jersey about a month ago or whatever. Like that's Comicsgate. That's like I think there's smaller cons where we can all get together and have fun, and that's a much better way to do it than trying to do something like San Diego. Like anybody who wants to show up to San Diego, go for it, but it is a slog, man, and it's expensive.
Yeah,
expensive.
I live in Pinellas County, so I'm on the Peninsula, St. Petersburg Peninsula to Tampa.
Oh yeah,
I emailed 3 different times trying to get a table or even a response from Tampa Comic-Con. So, dude, if I go, I'm just going to hang out at like the Con Hotel at the bar.
Hail Darren, man, what's up, brother?
And hang out with
66.
some of the.
What's up? Hail chat, man, everybody. Yeah, like I kind of looked through the Tampa convention, and it's like a lot of a lot of TV, a lot of movie, a lot of sci-fi.
Not a lot of
there's some comic book people, but it's a lot of TV, a lot of movie, sci-fi stuff.
And I'm shocked that they didn't even email me back. I'm like, boy, come on, guys.
Those
not even an email.
The ones that are heavy with the TV and movie sci-fi actors, it's a little different kind of crowd.
It is.
For if you're going to be artist alley or whatever, I mean, you'll still do fine. But it's a different.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I
be
did
nice.
Fan Expo.
We're trying to be nice, but like those kind of conventions, that's a lot of people that don't read comics that are there to
don't
see
care.
the actors of the TV shows that they like. So
I did the last year of Fan Expo before whatever they switched to or they sold out or whatever.
Yeah.
They had Spock. They had the woman that was in Serenity, and she was the main evil villain of the V miniseries that came out.
That Morena Baccarin. She was Deadpool's girlfriend too.
I didn't even make the money during. I didn't even make them per day. Didn't make the money to pay for my cheap hotel.
These are when you're a comic book artist going to a convention. These are the two things to watch out for. If they have 20 plus B-list TV and movie sci-fi actors, they have 20 plus of the B-list guys. That's a warning sign. And if they have 2 or 3 really big names, if they have a Shatner, if they have
a Spock,
one of the Star Trek or Star Wars, like whoever, if they have 1 or 2 of those, like those are not good shows to be at because 70 to 80% of the audience is only there for the signings for the actors.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get a scant crowd through Artist Alley, and it's not going to be very many comic fans. I like going to more regional shows where the number one draw that they've got is a comic book artist. Like a big name Marvel or DC comic book artist is their big draw. Like they list off 5 or 6 name comic book artists, and then below that you get like a couple, like 5 TV or movie sci-fi people that aren't huge. Mm-hmm. When the comic book artists are the front runners for the convention draw, that's a good show for Artist Alley. Otherwise, it's going to be thin pickings.
MegaCon, when Beth Wadera still owned it, she did a really good job of doing like 50-50.
Okay, yeah.
She gets Star Trek and Star Wars or sci-fi people, but she also would get the comic book people. And the way she had to say, oh, dude, those are always my best shows. Those are my best shows. The
people running the show know when they know what they're doing, when you have a track record with them. So there's shows that I've gone to where it's like, I'm not worried about it. I know the people running the show. It's going to be a good show. And like, I'm sure you know that too. Yeah. MegaCon. I've never heard a bad thing about MegaCon. So that doesn't surprise me at all. Oh, is it?
It's because they brought in, it got so big and so successful. And because they paid a premium price when they bought it from Beth, that it's steadily like decreased. Now my career has gone the same way. Yeah. So I'm a little biased.
Yeah.
Like the books I worked on at DC as they got, crummier and crummier, my experience got crummier and crummier.
And that's the thing.
Like, so many people. There's so many artists. Like, oh, look, there's Joe Madureira is supposed to be at that table over there. And him and another 100 artists that you've heard of. Now, he's never going to be at the table, but he's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are all... Unfortunately, these are all comic cliches because they happen all the time at Comic Cons. But we got Repairman Jack in the house. Hey Rob, what's in that cup he's drinking? I'm guessing an IPA.
I would really like to be super cool and Repairman that I'm hip and cool. Right now, it's a protein shake with rolled oats, banana, and 2 scoops of protein powder. And usually on the other shows, it's because I just worked out. If I haven't just worked out, it's a Mountain Dew. It's Diet Mountain Dew. So it's nothing good. It's nothing. There's no bourbon.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, man. That's good, healthy living. But yeah, we got a bunch of people in the chat, man. Appreciate you guys all being here. If you're new to the channel or new to the show, please, if you can, hit that subscribe and like button. It really helps out the channel, builds it up. Me and Rob have been doing this for big chunk of this year now, a few months in a row now. I like every once in a while I'll check out my YouTube channel thing, and it's like, oh shit, me and Rob have put a few shows together. So yeah, hitting
It's
that like
exciting.
and subscribe button really helps out the channel and kind of gets the word out more. But yeah, the more subscribers we have, the better. But we do have some topics today, and I didn't run anything by you earlier, Rob, just because I was running around this afternoon. And so if you got stuff, I know you talked about like comic book process. We talked about at one point, so we can cover a lot of bases tonight because my whole thing is when is Hollywood going to let leading ladies be sexy again? I kind of threw up.
I know. Yeah.
So, because obviously Marvels is coming out later this year, and everybody has their problems with Brie Larson as Carol Danvers. I don't think that whole scene in the first movie with her and the motorcycle guy, and like she's such a bitch to him, and all he does is like ask her to smile. And so that gives her license of, okay, she lands on the planet, she's the superhero of the movie, so what's the first thing she does? She knocks out some dude, steals his motorcycle, and then steals cool clothes so she could look like a hot '90s whatever chick,
dude,
and be all tough. And I don't need men. And how dare you ask me to smile? So I'll just steal your bike. Like I don't know how they thought that was going to play with the Marvel audience, but it didn't play well. Like the Marvel audience has hated Brie Larson since that movie, to the point where she got interviewed at some point about, Captain Marvel 2, and she was all like, oh, do people even want me to come back? And they're like, no, guess what? Like, no, people don't want you to come back. You alienated the majority of the Marvel audience with that one stupid role. And so now we got Marvels 2, which nobody gives a shit about and looks like crap. And I mean, Marvel dug their own grave. They're just waiting to fall into it.
I would like to know, how bad does it have to get? You know what I mean? Because we saw the Harley Quinn movie, which was super feminist, and her narrating, and
again,
they didn't even try to have Joker in it. Like, it was just a big pile of crap. Like, does movie studios have to go bankrupt, or does it just need someone to take a chance? And movie studios don't like to take a chance anymore because they're trying to make these $150 million movies that come out, and they're giant blockbusters that generate even more money in merchandise and everything else. I don't know if anybody's gonna. I think they'll just use it as excuse and just say, "Oh, people are done with superhero movies."
I think it's time. Like you could be right. People will be done with superhero movies, and they'll chalk it up to superhero fatigue. But I don't think that's what it is. It's the in the WEF and BlackRock pushing the woke agenda, forcing it down these corporations' throats in order to get their investment money. And so then they're pushing these agendas through their movies onto an audience that doesn't like this stuff, doesn't want this stuff. If Disney has to sell to Apple, like Apple, like there are smart people running these companies. And if like Disney has gone so woke and so broke that they literally have to sell their company to Apple, Apple's not going to buy it and keep doing the same shit that Disney has been doing that has destroyed the company. Like,
why would Apple buy it though? Apple is a technology company. Not only is Apple a technology company,
it's ego.
Apple's also worried about losing China. Because if we have a war with China, there goes Apple's manufacturing. So,
yeah. But I mean, if Apple buys Disney and makes stuff that is popular to the masses, including China, guess what? That's like what do you want to call it? Like presenting a present, or like making peace before there are problems. You know what I mean? Like Disney is going out of its way to alienate China.
If Apple loses China because we're at war with China, or we're just being extra shitty to them and they're being extra shitty to us, then there won't be the movies going to China.
But that's what I'm saying is
there'll be no manufacturing. There'll be
Apple
no
could buy Disney and make pro-China Disney movies.
Oh, it won't.
Like
It won't matter though if the
leaf?
political.
What is that leaf that I'm losing the phrase. When you're like trying to make peace with somebody, there's like a phrase and I can't think of it off the top of my head. I hate when this happens.
But it won't matter. It won't matter what kind of movies.
Well, this is all preemptive. If we're already in war, movies aren't gonna save us. But movies could preempt going to war because China is a huge audience for American movies.
Like, it's a lot less though. They decided they wanted to just make their own blockbusters.
Movies have gone woke. China won't accept these woke bullshit movies. China liked movies when we were making movies for general audiences, and U.S. audiences liked it when we were making movies for general audiences. The problem has become with the woke agenda, all of this shit shoved down our throats by BlackRock and like that whatever CEO is like, if they don't like what we're selling them, you have to force down their throat what we're selling them is basically what
the idea is that if you only give them the same shit for 2 to 3 years, eventually people just get used to it and accept it.
And that's not going to happen. It isn't.
That's what WWE does.
WWE gives enough of people what they like, and then it yanks. WWE is like George R.R. Martin. They're going to make you like somebody, and then they're going to rip them out from underneath you and shit all over them.
Well,
that's what wrestling does. It's like, we're going to give you somebody that you love, and then we're going to crap all over them, and it's going to hurt, and then we're going to give you somebody else. So
they also have a loyal audience that even if they're unhappy with the product, it's still technically free because it's on cable.
Yeah, so they can still watch it. Of wrestling's better than any of the other crap that's out on TV right now. So.
Yeah, versus movies, you still got to pay for movies. Same with comic books.
Here, let me cruise through a couple of the chats here. Like, we'll keep the chat. Apple is pretty woke company too. Oh yeah, all these companies are woke. All these companies are woke. What the little bit of confidence I have is the one thing I will always believe in. I don't claim any political side. I'm a capitalist. There's one thing I believe in. Capitalism. Because capitalism is nature. Communism is ego. Communism is ego thinking that you can like change nature and change what people will do. Capitalism is what people are normally intended to do. Cream's going to rise to the crop. People are going to work hard to make their lives better. Communism is handing out shit and thinking that everybody else is going to like work hard to give the shit that you're handing out. That's not nature. So my little breakdown of the political universe right there. Secret Invasion is supposed to set up the Marvels and no one is watching it. 100% true. And like this is the thing is Samuel L. Jackson. Like this might have done more damage to Samuel L. Jackson's career than anything in the world. Because Samuel L. Jackson has been bitching about when's my next Marvel movie? When's my next Marvel movie? They give Samuel L. Jackson his own Disney Plus TV show where he's the star. Nobody is watching that show. Nobody gives one shit about that show. They're trying to do little puff pieces to get people interested on like MSN homepage or Deadline or whatever one of these channels people check out. Nobody gives a shit about Secret Invasion and what's going on there. Nobody cares.
All they had to do was go, okay, the snippet in Captain America 2 where the Hydra agents are trying to kill him?
Yeah.
Make that 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, not that exact story, but that feel, that
just energy. Something.
Instead, they're like, no, we're going to get all really spy and spend no money and make it about the Skrulls. Dude, you got to.
Even if they would have thrown like a Skrull turning into, like you weren't even using Chris Evans or you weren't even using one of the main cast, if they would have thrown in a Skrull looking like Captain America, but not being Chris Evans, just a guy that kind of looks like Chris Evans in the suit, and have the Skrull turn into him, or Iron Man, or a Skrull turn into one of the Avengers, just to throw off the storyline a little bit, that would have got people so much more excited, because they would have tuned in just to see what happened with that. The rest of this crap, nobody gives a crap about Kobe Smulders or whatever her character was.
Why didn't we see Johnny Walker in it? I honestly, I haven't seen any of it. I have downloaded
because I
the
think they're
first 4
saving him
episodes.
for the Falcon Captain America movie, and he's in Thunderbolts. He's going to be one of the Thunderbolts. So U.S.
Yeah, but
agent.
I heard Thunderbolts is suspended or.
Well,
sidelined.
yeah, because I mean everything's suspended with the writer's strike. So, and again, that's not going to help out any of these studios that are desperate for a hit right now. Like Disney is hoping and praying that Marvel's is a hit. Yeah, good luck with that. Like, Disney has only had one decent movie, and it was Guardians of the Galaxy this year, and it did okay. It did good, but everything else has tanked. Indiana Jones sucked all the money. Like, they're going to take a huge hit this year.
Mm-hmm.
So China wants American movies. They do not like Black people and Asian people in U.S. movies. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's true.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, like China loves American movies, but they love, like, I mean, the classic old school American movies from like 20 years ago. They like the action adventure story, you know. And,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is it? I mean, all the Jackie Chan movies with Chris Tucker, like those played both sides and like were huge hits. Those, like, Chris Tucker, his whole career is like those 3 movies and then being in the Fifth Element. Like, he made 5.
Well, that's Chris Tucker's fault, because
Chris Tucker
he wanted
20
million
movies,
a movie,
and like he's got more money than he's ever gonna know what to do with.
No, he's broke.
Is he broke again now?
He's broke because he thought he was gonna make $20 million a movie after the Jackie Chan stuff.
No,
and he would only accept $20 million a movie.
Oh, I thought he put some of it away with the Jackie Chan movies. But...
No. In fact, Adam Carolla talked about how he did comedy. He did a comedy routine. He did his routine at some comedy store, comedy club, and Chris Tucker was coming in after him to do his thing.
Yeah,
and Adam is sitting there, and he's sitting there with his one guy who travels with him to take care of stuff, and they're like eating off of a vegetable platter that they had picked up at like the local grocery store. He said Chris Tucker walks in like a white leather outfit, and he's got like 4 guys with him.
Oh,
and Adam's like, he just shaking his head. He goes, it's not how you make money. That's not how you make a profit on tour, you know, doing comedy stuff. Unless you've got a stadium that you're filling. When you do these clubs, he goes,
4 security guys to go to like maybe 100.
No, it's him and his friends.
Oh,
so he's traveling with his posse.
So and they're like acting like they're a security or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's his group. He's got to do his thing with his group, which you're like, so they all have hotel rooms, they're all flying, and they're all getting fed, and so you're just like, yeah. So there's no profit afterwards.
The thing is when you make money at a young age, that's the worst thing for you, because you think you're always going to make that kind of money, and like. The first thing anybody who makes money should realize is like that might be the last of it. So hold on to it like with a death grip. China didn't like Shang-Chi and Black Panther. Yeah, no, I'm sure they hated both of those movies. And like Marvel bent over backwards with Shang-Chi to make it acceptable for China. And like China still like turned their nose up at it. I don't blame them. Shang-Chi was mediocre at best. Like
I still liked it more than Iron Fist.
Oh God, yeah. Iron Fist was terrible. That was like they chose the worst actor. They chose the worst actor in the world for Iron Fist. Like, that guy had 0 charisma. The guy playing Luke Cage was decent. I liked him.
Yeah.
He had presence, but like the guy playing Iron Fist was such a candy ass.
And they made him so cheap. They literally. I remember watching Iron Fist, and I'm like, he used his Iron Fist once to break out
Yeah.
of this.
Oh yeah.
On the
And like
door.
I remember them ripping on like all the kung fu that they were doing. It was like the first season of Iron Fist was like me and Rob doing kung fu against each other. Like, you know,
he didn't even get likable till he was getting angry. There's that scene where he's beating on the door and he just has the Iron Fist like on full time.
yeah.
You're like, it's the first time I've liked this character, and he's supposed to be evil now.
Right.
So, oh well.
Yeah. No, it's there's a lot of bad decisions out there made in movies. But and they're still making more. So let me pull up one of the topics here. Let me
here we go.
Yeah, no, I had topics, and did I
the same contamination in Hollywood is the same contamination in comic books, and I've actually gotten into a couple arguments with editors back when I was still at DC over it.
So like, and when you would get in arguments with editors, were they cool with it, or were you like, oh, this is going to cost me a gig or something if I'm?
Well, one editor. This was I mentioned this before. It was on Justice League United, and the editor sent us a synopsis of what he wanted out of the book.
Okay.
And this was at a time when they couldn't even decide whether we were going to be on the book full time or if they're going to relaunch the book, or because there was another artist working on a couple.
Up in the air.
Yeah, and there was another artist that was doing a couple issues of something, and but the description of what the editor wanted out of the book, because the book got handed over to this assistant editor. He's been fired since then, but the description had nothing to do with action and adventure, and it was all bullshit. It was all and Paul Pelletier, his comment back was, but there's going to be action, right? Question mark. My response was, because the editor was really trying to protect this character that Jeff Lemire created. And I've gone on record saying that Jeff Lemire is a great technical writer, but I don't think he ever writes anything when it comes to superhero stuff that anybody actually cares about, because he doesn't know anything about superhero comics.
Yeah.
So I said, why don't we just kill that character? And that assistant editor went off on like, oh, Jeff Lemire, he flew into this Eskimo tribe and spent 2 weeks with them. And I'm like, bullshit. He Googled it. He's just saying that, trying to sell the character to DC, make a big deal. So it makes the character important. I go, well, but when I made the joke of killing the character, then that's when the assistant editor came back at me saying, well, don't you think it's time for diversity? We need it more inclusive and more diverse characters in superhero stuff. And he mentioned one of the Fast and the Furious movies that just made $750 million. Yeah. And my response was, I don't know if those people are white or Spanish or Jewish or German. I go, all we know is they are attractive actors doing super, super cool stuff. Why aren't our comic books like that?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. It's the typical... It's that typical SJW mentality where you have to associate race with it. It's like the race is more important than what the person is, what their character is. They want to wave their flag. They want to get their credit for being a social justice warrior. They want to get credit for how open-minded they are. It's not about the character. It's like, oh, look at me.
What the character does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine if that character was super cool? Paul and I would have been super excited that we can't kill that character. Yeah. We would have been like, that character's great. Let's keep that character in the book. That character has a super slutty outfit. This is gonna be great for comic book pages when we sell them.
So I'm with Bubs 66 here, and I'm guessing that's shocking a lot of people, but I am waiting for the U.S. to release a movie with big titties too. I miss the glory days, and a lot of you guys will remember this too. Like, and we didn't realize how good we had it until it was gone. But American Pie movies, all of those late 90s, early 2000s kind of sex comedy movies that we just took for granted, and some were hits at the box office, some just kind of skirted by,
Mhm.
but we didn't realize how good it was until it was gone, and it is gone, and it's been gone for 20 years now. like like I want to go see the Jennifer Lawrence movie because apparently she just dances around on the beach naked, and like that's what I'm all about. Like, let's have some of these dirty sex comedies again. Let's
Yeah.
have them make some money because they have been dead for 20 years. People ask me like Blue Bombshell, Pirate Queen, the big titty comics that I'm doing. These
Oh
are
yeah.
superhero sex comedies. These are American Pie movies with the characters being superheroes. There's an audience for this. There's guys that love this stuff. This is what Maidens of Mayhem is going to be. I've got the link for the sign up page for Maidens of Mayhem, which is hard to say, in the description. Also, Death Raider, the link to Death Raider is in the description, which is live on Indiegogo. If you guys haven't backed that yet, definitely check it out. And Superiors is down there also. But yeah, Maidens of Mayhem is the new comic that's going to be coming out probably end of August, early September, somewhere in there. But yeah, like this is the stuff that hasn't been around, and there is an audience for this. And TikTok is the perfect example. We got Brie Larson with her little frowny "I hate men." I haven't seen Barbie yet. I'm going to see Barbie. Rumor, and I don't know if this is true. I'm hoping it's not true. I want to see a fun comedic Barbie movie. That's what it looks like in the commercials. I'm hoping they're not trying to shove any kind of feminist.
Oh,
Um,
I heard that they are.
yeah, I'm gonna wait to see. I'm not gonna judge until I go see, but I've heard that too. I'm hoping that's not what it is because Barbie's fun. Like Barbie, like girls are gonna turn out for Barbie in droves, and God bless them. Like this is what's so disappointing about the He-Man movie getting shut down at Netflix is, like, to me, like Barbie is like the female version of He-Man. It's like what all the guys like want to be. It's like that Barbie is that for girls. That's what girls want to be. So like I'm a Barbie enthusiast. I'm glad all these girls have this movie that they're stoked for, but I want it to be a fun movie that everybody can enjoy. I hope they don't try and shove an agenda in there, but I mean, with the way movies are today, and what uh, what Margot Robbie did with the second Harley Quinn movie, I am reticent. Like Harley or Margot Robbie is so dumb because she literally could have been the female Ryan Reynolds. She could have literally been the female Deadpool.
She could have
There,
made $1 billion.
there is no reason Harley Quinn couldn't have been as big or bigger than Deadpool if she wouldn't have pushed her little agenda that she did in the second movie. Like people, guys and girls, loved Harley Quinn in that first Suicide Squad movie. They loved her. She was set to be as big as anything, as big as Deadpool, and she messed it all up with that second movie, pushing her stupid little agenda, trying to prove that she's like a feminist or all this bullshit. And now, like, I mean, they're gonna recast Harley Quinn. She's not gonna be Harley Quinn anymore.
Well, think about it. Realistically, to pull off a Harley Quinn movie, you have to have Joker in it,
Yeah,
which now that means she's not going to be the only one getting a big check. Jared
yeah,
Leto, especially because he got a lot of his scenes chopped
yeah.
from
Oh yeah,
Suicide
from
Squad.
the yeah,
So between the two of them, like, of course she listened to all the wrong people and then pushed
that's
through whatever bullshit she wanted because she wanted all the spotlight if it turned into a big hit. And instead, she obviously had no clue what the fans wanted. And it was, dude, I can't get 10 minutes through that movie. By the
no.
time
I've
By the
never
time,
seen the whole. I've never seen the whole
ooh,
second Harley Quinn movie.
yeah,
Apparently, the
when
guys
she,
want us to do another thing of the '70s hot sci-fi babes. We got Miss Tessmacher. We got Aaron Gray. Don't get me started on Aaron Gray, man. We'll be
oh,
here. We'll
dude.
be here all
I
night.
talked to I talked to her at MegaCon.
Oh, did
And
you? I'm
yeah,
so
it was
jealous,
so hard.
dude.
And she's weird. She's like in a cool yoga chick weird. So she's
Oh,
doing
well, of
like
course she is.
yoga.
She's a '70s California actress.
So she's doing like yoga stretches as I'm trying to talk to her, and
Oh, like right there at the con?
yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
it was cool and weird all at the same
oh, I
time.
would have loved it. I would have loved every second of it. I would have loved that it got really weird. I'd have been like, "Oh, what is that? Downward facing dog? Here, let me. I'm in the yoga too, Aaron Gray. Like me, like I would have been down for it, man. Aaron Gray was my cup of tea, man.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, so both Barbie and He-Man are from Mattel. I think that's right. I don't know 100%. Oh yeah, we got Randy backing it up, so Darren and Randy think so. So that's good enough proof for me. But yeah, I was He-Man all the way. Castle Grayskull. I had all the guys. I had Ram Man. I had who was the snake guy that squirt? He was like a squirt gun for a head, Hister or something like that, Hiss something or whatever. But
Was it
yeah,
like a sinister snake or
it was
sinister or
something like I thought Hiss was in the name, but I can't
oh,
remember. But his head was literally a squirt gun, which was awesome. And then Ram Man was cool because Beast Man, Merman, all those guys. But this is what I thought about Netflix having that before all the, and we'll get into Kevin Smith stuff here because I got a
oh,
bounding into comics article here, and it like you follow the train of thought, and it makes total sense. Is Kevin Smith shit on everything, but like the one thing Netflix has been missing is a real decent franchise. Like you look at
yeah.
all the other big studios, especially Disney. Disney has its franchises. They've got Marvel, they got Star Wars, they got the Pixar stuff. Warner Brothers has the DCU, whatever, whichever
Well,
one has the Bond movies.
yeah.
Sony has Spider Man.
Netflix has they have franchises, but they have franchises by people that are too big of stars and are too busy to keep coming back.
Yeah. And then
You
they're
know what I
not
mean?
really franchises yet. They have big solo movies, but they don't have franchises yet.
Well, we're on our the second installment
Licensed
of Extraction.
franchises, like licensed franchises, what I'm talking about. Like a Star Wars, like a MCU, like the DC universe. And to me, that's what He-Man could have been for Netflix
Oh yeah,
if
okay,
they
yeah,
had played it smart. Like they could have turned He-Man into a Star Wars-esque kind of fantasy sci-fi movie that could have been a franchise that could have had spin-offs with He-Man is multi-generational. Like kids were buying He-Man when I was a little kid. Kids have known He-Man cartoons for 40 years now, or
yeah,
35-ish
yeah, yeah,
years.
yeah.
So it's this multi-generational thing that they could have turned into a big movie franchise. For some reason, they went the route of cartoons first, and they went woke as hell. Kevin Smith went in there and called a He-Man cartoon. It was supposed to be a He-Man cartoon turned into a Tila cartoon, and that's not lesbian Tila is not what every kid bought He-Man for. So let me switch headers here, and let's see here, stop screen and present. So yeah, bounding into comics had a really good one here, and it's kind of cause and effect, and it makes total sense to me. But yeah, Kevin Smith. So Kevin Smith apparently was presented this opinion, probably at San Diego here, but rejects premise that Masters of the Universe Revelations performing poorly had anything to do with live action He-Man getting axed at Netflix. Yeah, you can deny that all you want, but guess what? Like, I'm guessing the animation was cheaper and it was a way to put out a feeler to see what the fans felt about He-Man, and the fans shit on it because Kevin Smith tried to shovel them a piece of crap and tell them that it was cake.
Well, I think Kevin Smith is that used car salesman type guy. He walks into the room. I think he's really smart at doing certain things. He reads the room. He sees the room is got a woke agenda anyways, and all he's thinking about is his check because he doesn't really give a shit. I mean, I've listened to a lot of his podcasts and a lot of things that he does and the way he says things. I think he does. I think he reads the room, he picks an audience, and then he just goes with it. And he thought he could make a bunch of money with Netflix for a few years, just shoveling their wokeness, social justice warrior shit right back at him.
It's a bigger scale of what's going on in comics. Is you have people at the top that are hearing woke is what we want to do, like from the CEO, because they want this investment money, this ESG money. It's like, we want to be woke. We want to be all inclusive. This is what the editors are hearing. This is what the studio execs are hearing. And so what do they tell the producer, like a producer like Kevin Smith, or what do they tell a comic book writer is, we want woke, we want inclusive. That's what the agenda is. We're not, this isn't aimed at the fans. This is coming, this isn't from the ground up. This is from the top down.
Yeah, and writers know that if they want
they want the next job.
Yeah, and they want to get paid, that they have to write what they know the producers want.
Yeah,
I mean that's what Chuck Dixon said. That was his first lesson. He learned
these writers are not writing these comics to sell better numbers to an audience. These writers are writing to make sure their editor is happy, and their editor is hearing from above, woke, ESG, all inclusive. What is it? AIE or whatever. DII, diversity, inclusive, whatever. Like, there's all these. I can't remember all the letters now. But that's how this is working. Is they're not doing this stuff to sell to fans anymore. They're doing this to make the people handing out the jobs happy, so they get their next job.
Yeah,
and it's coming down on the editors. And it's coming down from above. And like, you can see the dwindling results. Like, Disney is literally talking about selling off assets. They're talking about selling the whole company to Apple. Bud Light is in a free fall. Bud Light, this is communism. It corrodes from within. It's the communist idea of, we're going to push our ideas down your throat and people will just accept them, and that doesn't work.
Yeah, and look at the He-Man live action movie. They spent $30 million and they have nothing to show for it.
Oh yeah.
It's a bunch of people taking expensive lunches and talking to each other about how great they are and giving each other raises.
Well, and it gives me a little hope for Netflix, is that they at least didn't go through and pour more money into garbage that nobody wanted to see. You know what I mean? It's like, they tried the woke agenda in a cheap version with the animation, and they saw the response, and they're like, we're not going to dump more money into this. Like, Netflix is at least capitalism trying to survive, but a lot of these studios are just killing themselves from within.
Dude, $30 million on a He-Man live action production. Just literally, they could have paid us great rates to do a comic book.
I don't know how you can't just even make a movie with $30 million. Like,
dude, we could have gotten paid great to do a He-Man 12-issue miniseries.
Oh God!
That then they turned into a movie. It would have cost $30 million to figure out, hey, this is a good
$30,000. $30,000. I could have given you, like, scene for scene, an amazing comic book that you could have just you could have used it as storyboards and turned it into a He-Man movie. Like He-Man is just waiting to be adapted. And if you do it well, like
PG-13.
people are going to show up in droves. Like literally, that's what I mean is He-Man is like a franchise waiting to happen because it's been around long enough. It's a fun idea. You go take that dude that's playing Reacher, you know, and you give him a sword and like the little chest piece or whatever. Like you're printing money if you give him a halfway decent script where he fights Skeletor a few times in front of like a realistic looking CGI Castle Grayskull. You're just printing money. You barely need a plot for that.
Part of me still would rather work on a project where I knew it was getting turned into a cartoon just because it could be more outrageous.
Oh yeah.
Because He-Man's more jacked. Like when I look at this artwork, I look at Battle Cat and go, he's not big enough.
Oh yeah, no.
Battle Cat.
Even this is a watered down version of He-Man. Like I mean, Battle Cat and He-Man are like they're on the roids and they're proud of it. They don't give a shit.
Dude, it's the best type of roids. It's magical
roids. Yeah, it's magic roids. Like you don't get that. You don't get the shrinkage. You don't get the shrinkage you get with real roids.
Exactly.
So so another just like there's just more and more examples, and like literally, I think we just have to wade through this and stay the course. Because like there is always these movements, these social movements or whatever. You look back through time and you can pinpoint stuff. And we're just wading through the crap of liberal socialism, trying desperately to force their agenda down people's throats. And you got to stand up to it. You got to fight against it. And I mean, boycotts work. Like, Bud Light is reeling. Every article that I turn on the internet in the morning is a new article about Bud Light losing money. And I mean, imagine Disney having to sell off pieces of its company because they've done so poorly. And it's go woke, go broke. There's not a truer statement out there. They can hate it as much as they want and think it's like, oh, you're just saying that. It doesn't mean anything. Well, guess what? It does mean something. You go woke, you lose your audience, they stop buying your product, and you go broke and you sell your product. And that is what this whole agenda is they're trying to like destroy these like big companies in the US. And I mean, it's successful, but I don't think it's gonna destroy everything in its entirety. Things are just going to diversify. Like there are other people. That's what Comicsgate is. Marvel and DC have gone woke. Guess what? Something else pops up to take their place. America has plenty of people that will give the fans the product they're looking for if these bigger companies decide they don't want to do it anymore and they're going to take this woke track. Guess what? That's what capitalism is all about. There's going to be somebody that fills that void that's going to sell to the audience that wants that product. So yeah, keep doing it because it just gives more of us an opportunity to succeed. And that's what's happening. Yeah. There's other beer companies that Yuling now. Yuling is a beer company that's been established in the US. Like Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, and Bev, whatever it is, that's a European company now. Like Budweiser got bought out by the European beverage companies a long time ago. So fuck Bud Light. They can go away. They're not an American company anymore. You can have as many Clydesdales as you want. I love them. They're pretty animals. But Bud Light is long dead. So
unfortunately, Marvel and DC doing what they're doing, the end result, it hurts comic book stores. The comic book stores,
the retailers, are the ones that are getting screwed in this process right now, and I feel for them because I've got friends who are retailers, and I mean they've always had a tough go of it, and Marvel and DC have never cared a shit about them.
And the ones who don't adapt, will survive well, the ones that don't adapt won't survive. So we're going to lose even more comic book stores. And the ones that do adapt will be so difficult to try to sell books to, because they literally won't sell new stuff. With Marvel and DC, what they're doing, the retailers that are adapting it's,
the way
comic
things
books are like
shifting,
way down the list. It's the priority is like everything but comics.
Yeah,
Old comics.
that's the thing is like retailers almost have to convert into like some sort of toy store or some sort of pop culture
or old back issues,
because in the short term it's not going to get better, it's going to get worse. And I don't even know about the long term. In the long term, the success that CG has seen, I see it being transitional into a full online model and other comic creators emulating it once they see the writing on the wall, if they haven't seen it already, is everybody's an individual publisher, creator. You promote your books online, whether through crowdfunding or your own site, your own store. I mean, you look at what J. Scott Campbell or some of the bigger name artists are doing right now, is they have their own licensed websites where they sell their own stuff, and then they license Marvel and DC, and they sell their own variant covers through that for the books. Yeah. So like J. Scott Campbell, like, oh yeah, he's a variant cover. He does variant covers at Marvel or whatever, but he's just using that to use their character IPs. Like he's making his money off of his own site. Like he's not drawing interiors because he can draw one Mary Jane cover for Spider-Man or something and make more money than he'd do at drawing 3 books. And then he's licensing that and selling signed variants and stuff, or, different things off of his own website and making even more money off of it. So like J. Scott Campbell's kind of doing what Comicsgate is doing right now, but he was doing it already. And just, he's so big that he can license those IPs off of Marvel and DC and do his own variants. He's kind of like
it's that retailer. It's the
retailer exclusive kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's exactly what he's doing. So he just had to hook up with a retailer buddy.
Yep. And then he's doing these covers. Limited print runs, so it's more of a collectible book. They're signed and numbered. You get a signed and numbered book that it's like for collectors, like the hardcore fans, that's what they want. That's what CG is doing. Like limited print runs, signed, numbered, all these things. So it's like that's the way things are heading already. Like and he's shipping out that stuff himself. I'm sure he's got his own distribution model. He'll do some exclusives through a retailer who will foot the bill for him. But like the rest of the stuff that you're getting off his website, he's selling it directly. So he's not even like paying through the retailer stuff. So like that's what where the business model is headed. And the easier it becomes to ship these books out for comic creators, like that's where the retailers are going to get really caught in the crunch, unfortunately. Because I don't want to see retail comic shops go away. But I don't want to see it happen, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
I think John Byrne and Frank Miller had an article years ago saying something, obviously not the specifics of like J. Scott Campbell's doing or what we were doing in crowdfunding, but they did talk about artists being more of a partner with Marvel and DC. And, that way it's the page rate's a lot lower, but the percentage of the sales goes more to the artist or to the creator. Now it's easier for guys like that to say that though. One, they've made their money, and two, they're going to write and draw it. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot, there's not a lot of extra fingers in the pie when you would negotiate with Marvel and DC to, like, if Frank Miller came back to do a Batman or a DC run or something, or John Byrne did an X-Men run, John's going to write it, he's going to pencil it, he's going to ink it.
When you're at the top of your game and you're the most popular person, you've got a lot of negotiating.
Exactly.
And that's the way it used to be. It's gotten so much away from that. Like I think with the image, the editorial, like said, we're never going to let that happen again. Like John Byrne and Frank Miller were the first rung of that, but then the image guys, like they took that and ran with it. And I think ever since then, like, there's been like purposeful agenda with editorial to never let anybody get too big, where they're bigger than, when they're bigger than the company or they're bigger than the IPs. And like, that's what, like, yeah, guess what? It keeps Marvel and DC in power, but it also makes Marvel and DC way worse, because you want the best creators working on the best characters. And when there's no incentive to do that anymore, guess what you get? You get the last decade of mediocre shit from Marvel and DC.
You get a bunch of foreign artists who don't speak the language, who don't ever even read the comic because they don't care.
It's
a paycheck. Just a paycheck. Yeah. And you, dude, like when you talk about during the Jim Lee and the Rob Liefeld, the Todd McFarlane days of all the people trying to draw like Jim Lee, holy crap! Look at all the foreigners. Look at all the foreign artists that all are drawing that same open, cartoony, generic style.
Oh
wow, it's painful, man.
Yeah,
it's there's no feel to it. There's no life to those things. They're hammering through those things fast.
And I guarantee you, none of those artists want to draw that way, but it's what.
Yeah, it's like a house style, right?
It's what the editors have been churning out, because the editors are hiring these guys that are just like working for nothing and not putting any heart, just cranking the shit out. And then guess what? That affects all the other artists trying to get those jobs, because they're like, oh, this is what the editor is hiring. Guess what? I can do that style. That's easy to do. I can draw 10 pages of that in a day.
Yeah, it's all, it goes back. All the hard work goes on to the colorist.
No, God, yeah. Well, and I don't think the hard work goes on to anybody, because you see the end results of those pages and they're all garbage. It's just it's just cranking shit out for the sake of cranking shit out.
Yeah.
Now the opposite of that. The opposite would be like somebody putting every single ounce of their energy and strength and talent and love of comics into
every page,
the best book that they could possibly make. And then you might even come close to touching what Rob Hunter is doing on Death Raider. You could dream about getting close to it, but like I've seen all the stuff you've been posting online, and like every time I'm clicking on the image and zooming in and just sitting and like just scrolling around the page and looking at, and I'm like, my jaw is like on the floor. The level of detail, the level of work you're putting in on all of this, Rob, is insane. If you guys are in the chat, you probably already backed this book. Love you guys for being here. Anybody who's catching this on the replay, if you haven't watched our show before, Rob Hunter is a 30-year veteran comic book artist, Marvel, DC. He's worked on everything. If you've heard of it, Rob's probably worked on it. Worked with a ton of great artists. This is Rob's first creator-owned book, Death Raider. It is insane. The artwork is amazing. We're going to scroll through the pages here, but if you guys have not checked it out yet, check this book out. Back at IGG today. It is in demand right now, and we're working hard to get this book over 20,000. It should be like triple that. But like we're building momentum. Rob's gaining backers all the time, so definitely check this book out. It is insane. I'll scroll through the pages and I'll let you talk about it a little bit, Rob.
All right. First off in chat, they're saying Marcus needs a wrench.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that I have to do it in YouTube is the trick now. But yeah, because Randy's got a wrench. Add as moderator.
I did get an email from someone asking if with my Death Raider project, if I have a partner or a benefactor who's paying me. And I wish that was true. But I only know one way to do the pages.
I got you, Marcus. I think you should be set up now. No, Rob.
No, until he posts, right? Post something else.
Yeah, he could try and post a link.
Oh, you're welcome, Marcus. but it's really all Clint.
And no,
I
everybody
say
speak
something.
up in the chat and Rob, because like literally I am never paying attention to anything that's going on around me
Oh,
until there's like
it's difficult.
it's
Holding
until something is
conversation.
specifically pointed out to me. I'm just kind of like everything's in the periphery.
Well, you're running the show, so I get to look over chat.
I'm barely running this show.
It's still there's that pressure. There's that
If you
pressure
can have a
you
YouTube show and put zero effort into it, that is what I am doing.
Hey, wait a minute. Then I'm at negative.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break that to you so harshly, Rob. I was like, what? Hey, wait a second here.
If you're at 0, then I'm at -10. So we're both in trouble.
Yeah, no, definitely. The most thought and effort goes into our show. Me and Rob are always pre-gaming on like topics, and segues, and like we're gonna make this thing run as smoothly as possible. So
I've been getting DMs. You can scroll if you want, Clint. I've been getting DMs about doing videos of showing how my work is and how I do it. And of course, I'm not going to do that. Are you crazy? Why would I want to? I mean, the time and energy, and I literally have gone into debt to be able to do this way and give it like my 1,000%. I made a joke to on Twitter today that as soon as my campaigns cross $1 million, I will do the videos showing exactly how I do it. But it's pencils, it's light pencils on the computer. I print that onto the page, then I do the marker, and oh, dude, I've mentioned this before. It's a lot of help. I get a lot of help on the marker. I'm looking at photo reference. I'm looking at there's a bunch of YouTube videos where anybody who wants to know how I'm doing the marker stuff, just go online and you can check out the YouTube videos. And there's a bunch of people that do some amazing, like I am trying to just mimic some of the photo stuff that I look at. There are people that are doing photorealistic marker out of their friggin' head. You know, it's like it's watching some of those painters who can do it out of their head because they've done it so many times.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy the people that can do that, do those skin tones and stuff with just grayscale marker. Yeah, I'm always blown away by them.
Yeah, so marker, then I do the inks, and I do a lot of textures in the inks because I was an inker for 27 years for Marvel and DC, and then I go in and I do the whiteout. And then I leave the page for a day or two, work on other pages, and then I go back and try to add more detail into the pages. Or, you know, there's always fixing stuff. You know, we all want to tweak stuff. We want to fix stuff. And Death Raider is, you know, my favorite characters are Wolverine, Punisher, and Iron Man. So I think I tried to smash a bunch of those all into.
That's a great combination. It looks awesome.
Oh, thank you. And there's our main character. And there's other guys in the background.
That's such a badass shot of him, man. That is so sweet.
Well, I kind of laugh. Like I'm actually working on the page, the page that comes up right after this because of my process of how I work on the pages. So I'm working on the page that comes right after this. And I kind of laugh a little bit because, like, I made this one guy to the right a total hipster with his mustache and the little.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm gonna kill him because I know he died. Like he's the reason. I mean, he's Death Raider, so he's the star of the book. But the other guys are dying, so I can do whatever I really want with them because they're dying. This guy, I like this guy. He's dying too. So. You know, this is it's the origin story of Death Raider. It's how he gets effed up on mission. His team gets killed, and because of an alien, a fragment of alien technology gets lodged into his head. He learns he gets that some of that alien knowledge. He doesn't get it all at once. You know how it is in comics. You can't make it easy.
You got to work yourself into like learning the alien technology.
Exactly. You know, his brain's got to adapt to that.
It's the old Greatest American Hero
Yes.
thing. Is you got to learn how to use the suit.
It's the curse. Like
Oh, okay.
Bruce Banner gets to turn into the Hulk,
Oh yeah.
but he can't control the Hulk in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know. Now, because I can't have Clint just be the only guy doing half naked chicks.
No, you got to have half naked chicks.
So our evil cyborg chick here, her name's Sai. That has not been approved yet by my wife, the editor, because she, to be honest, she comes up with all the names. I call her Sai because she's a cyborg, SY, because I'm like, I'm brilliant that way. She's got the back of her costume is a thong, so I can't let Clint be the only guy doing the cheesecake. So, but she's a cyborg. She doesn't need body armor. She's a cyborg.
Exactly. And
plus
plus
she's hot.
Like you wear too much clothes, you start to chafe, you get hot, you got those metal parts grinding and they're wearing through your costume. Yep. It's like the less is more, so.
Exactly. I mean, dude, she doesn't have to worry about getting shot in the legs or whatever. No. She just replace those legs. It's synthetic skin.
Get out her socket wrench and just strap on a new leg. So,
dude, she's got like a spray foam skin. She just sprays down. Boom,
yeah.
New leg, new skin, nice. New leg. So
this whole panel is freaking insane. Like I'm looking at all those characters, and I know we talked about the Reavers before.
Yeah, like, that's exactly what. That's my biggest influence.
I would have killed to have seen you on a Reavers miniseries with like throw Wolverine in there at some point.
Oh,
this is why Marvel editors or like editors in general can't be trusted. Because they literally don't know art. Like there's so many editors out there that like only care about the writer and like talking about ideas, and they don't know art at all. And like they would have looked at this panel being like, whatever. And it was like look at this artist, and this artist should be drawing this character or these characters. And there's so many editors that can't put two and two together to figure that out because they don't know art at all. So
literally, if I show these samples to a Batman editor, and I'm just saying in generic terms because I actually don't know who's the Batman editor now, and I don't want to insult them. They could see these samples and go, these pages and go, well, I don't know if he can draw Batman.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean? Like you literally have to show him. You have to show him a Batman drawing. Yeah. What's funny is my old boss turned down. He turned down Raider.
Oh,
he didn't want to publish it. So,
okay.
but when he turned it down, it wasn't Death Raider. It was only Raider, and it was a half finished sketch.
Oh, okay.
But I had given him the rundown of the character.
I think if you would have had all of these pages to show him, it might have been a little different.
Well, I have showed a bunch of these pages since then. Maybe like the first 4 or 5 pages. Yeah. And he just emails me back and goes, cool. Like he doesn't even say like, hey man, how do I get on board with this stuff?
Well,
hey, can I partner up?
There's also the editors that don't want to admit that they don't have work for you. They'll spin you on because they literally don't want to admit, like, because it gives away a little bit of their power. Like the power editors have over creators is I can give you a job. When you have an editor who's like only like editing like 2 books and one of the books is like kind of overseen by somebody else, it's like they literally don't have work to give you, but they don't ever want to admit that.
And there's that weird industry thing where no one likes to say no to you, whether it's editors or it's other creators,
because they never know what you're going to turn into. If all of a sudden you be turn into a big superstar and they like kind of crapped on you earlier on, they know it'll come bite them in the ass. So they always try to play it like close to the vest, like, oh, I love your stuff, and I'd love to do something with you down the road, like blah 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 blah, shine you on, basically is what it is. Yeah.
Or they just ignore emails. People,
that's the other thing.
Comic industry just loves that. They just ignore your email so that they don't have to tell you no.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just like, dude, come on.
And it's no different now than it was 25 years ago. It's just the same old cycle, really.
Oh, it's listed on the well, actually, if we it's It's SF Gaming. It's listed on the Indiegogo page. Like you can literally
the
pick
cover. Yeah,
the Anna cover. You can pick the Anna cover.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is listed as badass. Anna cover separate tier. Black and white edition is called Midnight Edition. Randy's on it, man.
Dude, Randy knows more about these campaigns than we do.
Randy, yes, that is an accurate assessment.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I love it. I absolutely love it, man. Yep. Yeah, we got SF and Gaming's question there. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it, man. This panel absolutely would have worked in the old heavy metal. Oh yeah, that's the other thing is heavy metal. Randy brings up another great topic. I saw, I think it was Ethan's channel, maybe Monday Night Kings. I think they were talking about the death of heavy metal. Yeah, and I think heavy metal actually died a long time ago.
It did because they were paying horrible rates.
I think somebody got the rights for it for cheap and tried to bring it back as this woke piece of trash.
Yeah.
So
well, they try to bring it back as a publisher, giving people opportunities and having to pay low rates.
Yeah,
because a couple of friends of mine said that they did stuff for heavy metal, and they said the rates sucked.
Oh yeah. One guy I knew who's a comic pro was like, I think he was working there part time as an editor or something.
Yeah.
And when I saw his name attached, I'm like, oh God, how bad is this? And, yeah, and it was like, yeah, they were just putting stuff out to put stuff out, kind of, and it all had to fit an agenda. The agenda that's going on right now. So it was like,
oh no,
yeah, and it's like that's not heavy metal. Like, why would you spend one dime on that when that's not what heavy metal ever was? Heavy metal was the opposite of that.
Yeah, exactly. And I never knew what heavy metal rates were back in the day, but you could see like Bernie Wrightson would work for him.
Oh yeah,
you would see these European artists doing this insane, super crazy detailed work.
Yeah,
and you know that they at least had to pay healthy rates.
Yeah,
to get those guys,
and especially they would probably get one top guy in and bring him in for a story because it was usually an anthology. It usually had multiple stories in one magazine, and you would get like the one big name. And then you'd get a couple other decent stories that were good, that were like not a knock on those, but they probably were getting a lesser rate than the big name guy. But you still got like a whole magazine full of awesome stuff. So
yeah, exactly. That was different than Marvel and DC in the first place.
But yeah, this new thing was, I think it was garbage from the get go, and it was.
There's always a businessman who thinks he can
just use the
profit.
Name.
Yeah. Make a profit from a brand that's pretty much dead.
Yeah.
You know, he sucker some advertisers, get creators dirt cheap.
Yeah. And the thing is it doesn't take long for a fan base to filter out just because the old name's on it that this is shit. And it's it's like they kill everything that used to be good.
Well, and especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You can watch YouTube and for hours and just click through the ads, for free practically.
Yeah.
So if you're going to entertain people, you got to entertain people with like solid stuff, good stuff. Yeah. You can't half-ass it and think that they're going to still show up and pay money.
And it's like, and they can't wrap their brains around that because they keep trying to do it and they keep failing over and over again. But there's going to be some other idiot that's going to be like, oh, let's buy this old name that used to be popular and we'll shovel our woke shit agenda through it. And these people are just going to buy it up. And then there's like, oh, wait, it didn't work again. We lost a bunch of money on it, but let's just keep trying to do it. and it's why you leave these companies and you go do your own stuff. You go like, there's no better time to create your own IP, to put your own books out there right now. I only wish that crowdfunding had been around when I was in my 20s and I had more energy. You know what I mean? Like I drew night and day. I drew 24/7 when I was 27 years old. Like I could have probably drawn an entire comic in like 5 days because I would just
Clint,
draw.
What are you going to show us? Show us.
Oh, okay. I got a little something.
It's time for a little something.
I got a little something. Yeah, we can. Let me hit all the buttons in the right order. I laugh at Art every time he does this, and then when I have to start doing it myself, I'm like, oh shit, I should not be laughing at Art because I'm just as bad. So
I'm not gonna talk shit because
I know.
Looked at some of the videos I put up on my YouTube channel.
So. Never a good idea to talk shit. So this is the new thing. This is the upcoming thing. I launched the sign up list for the mailing list on Wednesday. Maidens of Mayhem is going to be the new book. The sign up for the mailing list is live on Indiegogo. I think Randy just posted the link. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate it. This is going to be a 60-page full color comic. 3 individual stories in there. A Pirate Queen, Blue Bombshell, and Sword Maidens. All 3 individual stories. Adults only, adult content, adult language, and lots and lots and lots of nudity and big boobs. I cannot stress that enough. This comic is going to be wall-to-wall tits. So just in case you were curious about like whether this is the comic for you and you're a little squeamish around big boobs. So no, yeah, it's all that. The Blue Bombshell and the Pirate Queen stories are going to be they were presented before as the digital adult rewards in the Blue Bombshell and Pirate Queen thing. So they've never seen print. But if you did back the highest tier with the digital backup story, these are those stories. So I know a lot of people didn't get these because they just got the print books. So this is, I want to make these available for everybody eventually. And it also lets me get these stories done ahead of time. So this book is completely finished.
Do colors and everything.
Everything. 60 pages. Wow. This is finished. Nice. I got a 20-page Pirate Queen story that is finished. I've got a 14-page adult Blue Bombshell story that is finished. I've got a 24-page Sword Maiden story that is finished. So I'm going to run this campaign, and I'm going to print the book, and I'm going to ship it out to everybody as soon as the campaign's over. It's not going to go in demand at all. Like I'm going to run this campaign, and I'm going to ship the books out. The Sword Maiden story, I did run a very early Indiegogo campaign for this before even I did Coding, Killswitch, and Sea Dog. It was the very first, not the very first thing, the first thing I had done in Indiegogo just to kind of test the waters when I was dipping my toe in Comicsgate. And I think I got about like 50 or 60 backers and raised enough money for me to print it and ship it out to people, but not very many people saw this story. It's an awesome story. It's swords and sorcery. It's kind of Red Sonja if she had a twin sister, and they got naked all the time and fought demons and swords and sorcery and all that stuff. I kind of want to show this. I want to go on Andy Smith's channel and show this, some artwork from this, because I think Cordrath lovers, like everybody that Cordrath has been awesome that Andy Smith's doing. I think fans of that are going to love Sword Maidens also because it's kind of the same vein, that Conan-esque, kind of Red Sonja-esque, like the old Savage Sword of Conan, the black and white books where there'd be just a little bit of titties in the books. When you get them as a kid, and you're like, woohoo, I can see your tits. Now it's that, but like times 1,000. So super fun comic. 60 pages, action adventure. You got sci-fi, you got superheroes, and you got swords and sorcery, fantasy. All that stuff covers all the bases. Looking forward to launching this probably end of August. I'm going to start shipping out Superiors in August. I want to get at least a good chunk of Superiors started shipping before I launch this. So end of August, early September, that kind of time frame. So I'm launching the mailing list now. You sign up for the mailing list, you're going to get a free foil card. It's probably going to be nude of either Blue Bombshell or Pirate Queen. That's the plan right now. So a nude foil card, collector's item, and that's going to be only for people that sign up to the mailing list. And then we're going to, I always like to give discount tiers. If you sign up the mailing list, you're a fan of mine, you're back in the book, I want to give you some of the bigger fun discount tiers at a discounted rate. So you get a little bit knocked off on the price and you get some of the bigger, funner tiers. I'm going to have tiers. There's going to be a new digital backup story with this one. It's going to be the Blue Bombshell's newest rival, a character that I put a lot of thought into creating. Her name is Super Tits. She is an ex. She's an not an ex, a former Lonely Fans model who gains superpowers and wants to be a superhero, but also, again, much like Blue Bombshell, has trouble keeping her costume on. Rob, did you see the OnlyFans model boxing?
No.
Okay, so there's an OnlyFans model. She's this British blonde chick. She's in some low budget UFC knockoff thing, but it's female boxing against each other. She wins the contest. She's got a sports bra on. For celebration, she gets arm raised as a winner. She's bouncing around the ring, grabs her sports bra, boom, titties to the whole audience, and a nice rack. Of course she did. Yeah, so she's kind of my inspiration for these characters. So yeah, so a lot of fun, a lot of silliness. I describe my comics as superhero sex comedies. It's like the old American Pie movies if they were about superheroes. There's going to be tons of dick fart jokes, tons of comedy, tons of nudity, escapism, all that stuff. I don't take myself seriously. I got to tell you this, Rob. So we didn't do the show yesterday because Ethan and John were doing the all-day run promoting Godlike. So and they got the beautiful Dale cover. If you guys have not went and backed the Dale cover on Godlike, go do it. John's got the links in Twitter. It's gorgeous. The book looks awesome. I backed it. Definitely go back it. But so I turn on Ethan's channel just to I knew they were going to be doing the launch, so it's I want to see what they're talking about or whatever. But I'm scrolling through other things and checking my email, and literally I turn it on and 3 minutes later they're like, oh, and Clint Holinsky, and I'm like, did Ethan just say my name? And so they were looking at somebody else's channel talking about Comicsgate stuff, and they were scrolling. That one guy's got the web page for comics, all Comicsgate books listed, and they got the covers, and you can click and it'll take you where you back the book, which is, I love that channel. Great idea. And so they came across Pirate Queen, and Ethan always kind of chuckles when he sees my covers, because I think the big titty books, they kind of they hit him in the funny bone, let's just say, and he doesn't take them too seriously, which that's fine. I got no problem with that. Any publicity is good publicity to me. So Ethan, I think, was kind of giving me a little bit of a hard time. Is oh, here's Clint Holinsky and his big titty comics. I'm I can't believe Ethan just said my name on his channel. He's got 1,000 people watching. I'm this is great advertising. So I went in the chat and said, wow. I'm thanks for the shout out, Ethan. And he saw that and he had another chuckle at that. So just a thank you to Ethan, a thank you to John for mentioning Pirate Queen. And, I appreciate that those guys even know who the hell I am. So that's any advertising is good advertising. So that's my little story there. I've been talking for 20 minutes, so I'll let you take it over.
Why don't you hit the trailer?
Oh yeah,
right?
I suppose I could do
Hit
that.
play on the trailer.
See,
I'm like, the whole time you're talking, I'm like,
this
you
is
gonna play
why
the
I don't do
trailer?
a show by myself, and I thank God that you showed up, Rob, because like literally the idea of showing the trailer to my own comic never crossed my mind.
I mean, this is like a pretty new trailer. I imagine everybody's already seen the Death Raider trailer a million times. So
We'll watch
here we go.
We'll watch the Death Raider trailer now.
Dude, that looks great.
And just in case anybody's curious, all the edited out parts will not be edited out in the actual comic. So there you go.
And that pinup or cover with the redhead chick, that's really nice. I mean, they're all very cool, but that one is extra.
I had done that at some point, and then I realized that I didn't use it for any of the variant covers, and I'm like, oh Jesus, that was stupid.
Yeah,
like I remember really I posted that on Twitter, and it got like 125 likes, and everybody loved that cover, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I should probably use that for something.
Yeah, dude, especially if you went back in and you added some texture to the background because she's her form is very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like, wow. Yeah, the background, there's like next to nothing in there. So,
yeah. Like if you just went in, did your Travis Charest texture stuff.
Yeah. I'm just, I could tweak it a little bit, and it wouldn't be a lot of work. So,
no. But yeah, it's either way, it's a beautiful image.
And speaking of beautiful images and sweet ass trailers, let's do Death Raider. Oops, I got muted. My bad. Here we go. Are you ready?
Oh, SF said he signed up for the mailing list. Sweet. That's awesome, man. I like how Randy thinks of you know what I'm trying to figure out? Because I am heavily influenced by like Batman and Wolverine and Iron Man. I keep trying to decide. I really want a Death Raider motorcycle in the book, but
a Death Raider motorcycle.
Yeah, because of the way that because I when I did the outline, I plotted out the main sequence of pages, and that's how I work on them. That way, like for instance, I did a bunch of the pages for when he shows up at the emergency room with missing his legs. So I did like 4 pages of that because it was introducing Anna and because it's him all effed up. So what it does is it allows me to either add more pages to other parts. I thought I would need 8 pages, and I told the story in 6 or 7 pages.
Yeah.
So I can adjust.
You can.
But when I look at those, I'm like, where am I going to give him a motorcycle? Because I want to do a super cool, like, the type of motorcycle that you can drive through buildings. I want to give him a motorcycle, like that type of battle motorcycle. But I haven't figured out exactly what
fitting the spot where it fits into the story. And like, it's always like a motorcycle is a big thing because it's not the easiest thing to draw and fit
No,
into a story. It's not like you just like, oh, I jumped out of the building, landed on my motorcycle, and then ran it through 2 other buildings, and then ditched my motorcycle and started fighting the cyborgs or whatever.
Yeah, exactly,
it's gotta like you gotta kind of work.
It's got to make sense.
Yeah,
yeah. No, if he's getting on the motorcycle, it's probably either he's going someplace, or he's running away because he's forces are overwhelming forces. Yeah. So I haven't decided exactly where yet.
Yeah,
but I want that motorcycle.
Yeah. Marcus did a good job of reminding me here too, and I think we all are. We saw Jimmy's post on Twitter, and Jimmy is a friend of the show and a friend of all of us here.
Yeah, Jimmy did the trailer for me.
Yeah, exactly. And I've just gotten to know Jimmy this last year, but Jimmy is a great dude, man. I've had fun being on his show. I've had great times him coming over here. Didn't know that he was having these kind of serious issues, but it sounds like he's managing things well. But all our prayers are with Jimmy, and that's serious, scary stuff. Only hope for the best for him and for his health, because Jimmy's an awesome dude and a great part of all this, and an amazing artist. So if you guys haven't backed Dragon Rage, man, go do it. Like, Jimmy is doing just a kick-ass, amazing book over there, and me and Rob are both huge fans of what he's doing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, Jimmy had health problems years ago.
Okay.
And I think because I don't know what he's told people or not told people.
Right. Yeah, that's always the hard thing, is you don't want to talk about other people's business.
But I think those health issues have led to, like, Jimmy has the diabetic insulin thing. Yeah, he's got that reader on his arm.
Yeah, I've seen those before.
And I asked him about that in one of the live streams. So that was one of the side effects from his previous health issues. And I didn't ask him, but I'm probably thinking that the heart stuff.
Yeah, probably.
And they're trying to tweak the medication so that once they figure out exactly the medication levels, then Jimmy will be right back to normal.
It sounded pretty positive. Like he's, I mean, just a little bit you can get through Twitter and stuff, and like the pictures that he posted, like you never know, but like it seemed positive and it seemed like he's doing well. But yeah, we all here, especially in CG, wish him the best and strong health and quick recovery. So
now, I'm not exactly.
So this is a story I pulled up. I haven't really went over this one with you, Rob, at all, but it kind of ties into what I was talking about with Hollywood. Is Hollywood ever going to let women be sexy again? And it ties in with CG. Is you try to stifle down something that is naturally popular. Marvel and DC, like, they're shoving their agenda down comic fans' throats, pushing their woke agenda, stifling just what people love about superhero comics. And guess what happens? Something else pops up that feeds that fan base, and those people are hugely successful. And the people shoving the woke agenda down people's throats are like, how is this happening? This is wrong. Like, why don't you just accept what we are forcing down your throat and eat it up like a happy little consumer? Like, we've got this agenda that we want you to accept. And it's like, no, people are like, no, we have free will. We like good entertainment. We like quality. We don't like to be preached to. And guess what? They find something different. They found Comicsgate. Hollywood has been doing this with movies forever, shoving their feminist agenda, shoving down these actresses that want to preach to you about what you should be thinking, about what you should be liking. There's a reason TikTok is as freaking popular as it is, because like there's all these little beautiful girls on here that should be like the actresses and movie stars of today that Hollywood won't talk to anymore. But guess what? They've found their own way. This girl is a gymnast at LSU, super athletic, super talented.
And she's in a bunch of commercials.
Beautiful girl, and she is absolutely killing it. She has tons of endorsement deals. Like, literally, this is the type of girl that Hollywood would be clamoring for to put on TV shows or in movies. Like she's like Little Miss All American next door girl, and a talented athlete to boot, and she is absolutely killing it. So this is where Hollywood is like losing their money. It's like she's doing endorsement deals. She's got her own little industry going, and she's not the only one. There's a ton of these TikTok girls that you see them and they're like, how is this girl like not an actress? How is she not a singer? Like she's so talented. Like these are the girls that I remember growing up. These would be like movie stars now. These would be the Julia Roberts of back in the day, these type of girls. But they got their own little business going on TikTok, and they're absolutely killing it. Because guess what? TikTok is. It's not censored. It's not stepped on by like the mainstream media because it's its own company. And these girls are making tons of money.
Well, this woman specifically, it's because she's a gymnast, but she doesn't look like a gymnast.
Well,
a lot of gymnasts, they train so hard that
they get that kind of growth. And like she's managed.
She still has normal proportions.
Yeah, like, and the girls will get stunted and shorter, and like their spines will shorten because they do so much tumbling. Their fingers and their hands, their fingers and their toes will get like mashed from.
No, it screws up their proportion because their muscles are so strong that the muscles don't allow the bones to grow as long. That's why they're all short.
Yeah, they're super short, and like she's not tall, but she's probably like 5'6", 5'7".
She still has she has natural.
Yeah, she's a normal heighted girl. She's not like 5'1" or 5 foot tall, which a lot of these girls end up being. So
which means she trains as a gymnast, but she's not training for the Olympics where her muscles became so strong that.
But it shows you the agenda because like look at this New York Times article. New endorsements for college athletes resurfaces an old concern: sex sells. Like who is that a concern for? Like who is concerned that sex sells? Because sex sells is the most obvious thing out there in the world. Hollywood has been trying to deny it. Feminist, whatever agenda, they've been shoving it down the throats of these movies. They're wondering why these movies like have horrible box offices. They wonder why the theaters are barely surviving. Even like COVID, I blame it on shitty movies that nobody wants to see with ugly girls that nobody wants to watch as their leading actress. That like go out of their way to make sure that they know that you hate men. It's like the Brie Larsons of the world. Like nobody wants to go see Marvels. Guess what? If you cast this girl if you cast this girl as Supergirl tomorrow, you would have a mega hit. A mega hit. She already has a built-in audience without Hollywood, without a movie, without a TV show. She has a TikTok channel. And she's getting multi-million-dollar endorsement deals. So
but this isn't anything really new though. Look at when they cast Kristen Dunst as Mary Jane.
Yeah,
I mean that Spider-Man movie's from what 2002 or 4 or something. Like she's the better actress. Really, no one gave Kristen Dunst a ton of actor accolades. I mean, she's a good actress and she's pretty.
She was okay. She had weird teeth. She had baby teeth.
Yeah, and Mary Jane was supposed to be smoking.
Yeah.
And they have yet to cast a curvy, smoking hot Mary Jane. So
and Hollywood is like, for all the, you need the director because obviously you get Michael Bay, Transformers, Megan Fox.
Then you smoking hot chicks.
Okay, I get it. And guess what? Those Transformers movies were freaking huge hits. Yeah. They only got 2 movies out of Megan Fox before like she stopped sleeping with the director or the producers. But
she
they got rid of her as fast as they could after that.
She called Michael Bay Hitler and Steve.
Yeah, that might have caused a problem.
Yeah, Michael Bay actually did an interview where he said Steven's in charge, and he said she's fired, so I had to fire her.
Yeah.
I.e., Michael Bay doesn't give a shit what she calls him. As long as she's a hot chick who remembers her lines.
Michael Bay is so well off. He gives zero fucks what anybody thinks of him.
No.
Michael Bay could give a shit, you know.
Yeah.
Like he long ago was like has fuck you. He had fuck you money 30 years ago, and he's, you know, doesn't give a damn.
Well, he made sure that he got a piece of the action to make those Transformers movies.
Oh yeah, no, he got like he knew what the deal was before he made those movies and got back end points.
Yeah, he got movie money, he got toy money. He made sure that, like, hey, if he was gonna take the time to launch the Transformers franchise.
Yeah, and Michael Bay was a big deal way before that. So this was just like a feather in his cap. Or just an extra bank account for him, basically.
Yeah. SF Gaming. The Anna cover is on the color printed version, so there is a black and white version of Death Raider. So you could just order the Death Raider black and white version, and then the Anna book. She's on the normal full color comic, because I think that's what he's asking. He's thinking that the Anna cover is on the black and white. The Anna cover is on the color version.
Yeah, you just got to look around a little bit. You'll spot it.
Yeah. There's the. If you want the printed black and white, there's a specifically printed black and white version of Death Raider.
And there's
there's Dragon Rage.
Yeah, there's a link for Dragon Rage too for Jimmy's book. If you guys haven't backed that, definitely check it out, man.
Yeah, Jimmy's. He says it still should come out when he said it was going to come out.
Yeah, it doesn't sound. It sounds like this was all like none of this like popped up on as a surprise. I think. Jimmy taking care of business to keep himself healthy, as all of us should do. So yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, you can eat your cream of wheat with oats or whatever in your.
What? It's a protein shake with rolled oats.
Cup. Yeah.
With rolled oats and a banana.
Rolled oats. But yeah, to me, like TikTok and these girls that like are marketing themselves, but like being smart about it is like no different than Comicsgate, because like this is what like the WEF, the world
World Economic Forum.
And BlackRock fail to account for is you can try to stomp down on people's freedom and entertainment and censor them and try and shove their agenda down your throat.
Yeah, they don't account for our humanity.
Guess what? People are going to find different avenues.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you take one thing away from us, guess what? It's a free economy. Unless you can't stop people from creating businesses. So like you take Bud Light away from people, guess what? I'll find a different beer. You know, that's easy. You take Disney movies away from us. You start making all the Marvel movies suck because of their woke agenda. You start throwing whatever agenda you want to into the Pixar, the animated movies. Guess what? People are going to find other movies, other venues for that they're going to like.
They go to the video game movies. They go to Maverick. Maverick makes $1 billion.
People aren't just going to keep buying Disney shit because it's got Disney slapped on it. People aren't going to keep buying Marvel movies or comics because it has Marvel slapped on it. It's like if you turn out a turd of a product, they're going to find something else. And that's what Comicsgate is. These girls on TikTok, I mean, like this chick is her own industry. Like she's not even out of college yet, and she's got retirement money. And the thing is she's going to spin this off into something else after college. Like a lot of these girls are doing the makeup stuff, or like they've got their own built-in audience. They don't need these corporations anymore. These individual people. Ethan is his own corporation. Ripa.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Ripa was a few years ago. Like Ripa is his own comic book company now that rivals, like you make $3+ million off of your first comic book out there. You're your own company. All of us out here doing this to lesser degrees, we're our own small publishing businesses, and it's up to you to find your audience. It's up to you to put out good product in a timely manner and keep your fans happy. But that's what it's about. It's the fans. It's making your fans happy. And guess what? You make your fans happy, that fan audience is going to grow, and you're going to turn into one of these guys like an Ethan or a Ripa or Olivia. I forget her last name here, but yeah, like these. Doesn't matter.
I don't know who you're talking about.
The cute blonde on the balance beam there. But yeah,
that's Olivia. That's her first name.
Olivia something. I was gonna say Munn, but that's
Olivia Hotness.
Yeah,
her name is Olivia Hotness.
Olivia Dunn. That's what it is. Livy Dunn. They call her Livy Dunn. It's Olivia Dunn, not Olivia Munn. That's why I keep getting mixed up. But that's the thing is like these big agencies, this WEF, this BlackRock, they think they're going to force their woke agenda down people's throats, and they're just going to accept it because they're forcing these companies to do it financially. Guess what? The consumer, the fan, will leave these companies behind, and they'll go find something else that they want to spend their money on. So it's a flawed, stupid plan to begin with. They're going to keep trying it. These companies are going to keep losing money. And people like us that pick up the baton and create our own like marketplace, create our own company, create our own fans, create our own product are going to laugh while they do it because they're just putting money in their pockets. Like the whole gay thing with Superman's son was gay and Robin was gay and whatever gay characters DC was having, I was like, keep doing it. Like, have Superman and Batman have them make out with each other and be as gay as hell as they can for each other. Because all you're doing is sending more fans my way, sending a bigger audience my way. It's like, go for it. Like, destroy your companies, alienate your fans. Because guess what? Comicsgate is over here waiting with welcome arms with awesome products, fun comics. Like that's what's happened. That's what this whole thing has been. And it's showed it more clearly every day that this goes on. So like I'm here for it, man. I'm here to sell comics that are fun, exciting, action, adventure, escapism, hot babes. And like guess what? There's tons of fans out there that want that stuff, that are sick of Marvel and DC's bullshit, and welcome.
I haven't given up on Marvel and DC because this is what I want. I want to do a run on Wolverine or Batman where I do a Death Raider ad in one of those.
Yeah, no, I get
because I want everything. I don't want just
like would I like to draw Superman or a Justice League story? Yeah, I would like that, but I don't want it like I wanted it 20 years ago. Like,
I've already done it. So
like literally, I'd rather work on Blue Bombshell. I'd rather work on Pirate Queen. I'd rather work on Superiors now than work on Superman or the Justice League.
Oh yeah, if I can make a living on Death Raider, I'd rather work on Death Raider every day of the week because I get to write it. Yeah, I get to decide. Like, there's nobody telling me, "Oh, dude, can you tone this down?" Or dude, back when I was an inker, like, can you do this? Can you do that? Yeah. Could you calm down here? Now I have to tell myself to calm down all the time on things. But
yeah.
So Randy, hey, Clint, why don't you tell Randy how old this girl is?
She's legal. She's
like,
legal. That's all you need to know, Rob. She's well past 18. She's a couple years into college, so
could you have a conversation with her, Randy? Could you actually?
I could have a conversation with her. Clint, I could ask her about her collegiate training and how hard it is to stay on that beam. And geez, Rob, it's like you can socialize with people.
Yeah, I know,
but that's ageism. That's ageism, Rob.
No, when I was in my 30s,
I'm offended that you think some older gentleman like myself couldn't have a pleasant conversation with an attractive younger girl and just keep it nice and boring. Yeah.
When I was busy dating and I was single in my early 30s, I dated some women that were younger than me. Sometimes those dates went fine. We had plenty to talk about. sometimes those dates couldn't have been more awkward if I had a horn growing out of my forehead because of the age difference. So I'm just asking a question. I'm just wondering if Randy could have a conversation with we'll say a 20-year-old college girl.
Randy has absolutely the correct answer to that question.
She would ask. Well, I know she'd ask me. She'd ask me if I was lost.
Yeah.
And
do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need me to call the police? You need help getting back home, old man?
Yeah, exactly. Sir, are you okay? Are you
who of us hasn't had the best intentions of trying to make a new friend and gotten a little pepper spray in the eyes? So yeah, it burns.
Here's the thing. Have you ever had those awkward moments at a convention where you know the girls are probably in college, but you're not sure, and you know that they said stuff on purpose just to try to get a reaction out of you?
Oh,
and you just, I personally just pretend I didn't hear it.
Right.
And I start talking about something else. And that's them. That's them fucking with us.
Oh yeah, which you know, that's fine. You know,
I give them the power to know that they can do that.
Yeah.
I give them credit. They're like, oh, they know that they can fuck with us too. So
you know, it just always depends on the situation, I suppose. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like, and my main point with this, with the Olivia Dunn stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and with the Marvel superheroes, and even with the Barbie movie now, is like this is happening all over the place. But as much as they keep shoving it, I think we're winning, because all of these new things are popping up. It's like, yeah, you can like destroy this company that's been around forever, but guess what? Like 3-4 individuals are going to show up and take its place, and those people are going to be hugely successful because, and this is my whole thing about capitalism. Capitalism rises. You can like shove your communism, your socialism, all of this fascism crap, this censorship crap. Capitalism will fight through all of it. Capitalism finds its way. Capitalism is nature. It's true. It is humans, man's natural instinct to be like, oh, you're going to try and take this away from me. You're going to block this path. Guess what? There's other paths over here. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way to succeed.
If your enemy is losing, you don't actually have to win. You don't have to win if they're losing. You can just watch them lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you literally could just go, oh, you're going to just defeat yourself. Okay, I'm going to hang out here and we'll see who can last longer.
Yeah.
We used to make that joke all the time with Marvel and DC. I mean, how many editors last 20 years?
Oh,
like, this editor's a dick and won't give me work anymore. Well, that's fine. They'll probably be gone.
I'll just wait you out. How many editors last 5 years?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like how many assistant editors are gone like 2 years after you like were working with them?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Exactly. Yeah, it's like, I'm here for the long haul. You're going to be gone in 3 years.
Yes.
And I'll deal with your replacement. So yeah, it's 100% the truth. So yeah, and that's what's happening. It's showed over and over again. It's like, you try and block one path, we'll find 3 others. And guess what? Those people on the front lines of those other paths are going to be hugely successful because there's a market for this stuff. There's an audience for this stuff. There's fans for this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take away what the fans like, they'll find it someplace else. It's as simple as that. I laugh at them even trying to do it on the scale they're doing it. And I laugh at how obvious it's become that it fails over and over and over again.
Oh,
I laugh at Bud Light falling apart. I laugh like Disney. It's like, oh, all the people, go woke, go broke. Oh yeah, you're gonna say that Disney's a monster. Disney's a Goliath. Oh, Disney's thinking about selling off. Here, let me pull up one more.
Well, look at all the people who they told me no, Loki was a good TV show.
Yeah.
Now look at it after it's been out for a year. Now tell me, did Disney have an agenda in Loki, or was it just a good TV show? Like now you can look at it and go, oh my God, it was screaming agenda and it was terrible.
Yeah. And like Disney Plus is losing like $800 million for Disney this year. Like
Yeah.
Bob Iger moves to calm Disney staff after sparking high anxiety over potential sales of TV assets. That sounds like a company that is just doing really great and is not going broke as it goes woke. Or oh wait, that sounds exactly like a company that went woke and is going broke.
Just like Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is selling stuff too.
Yep. Well, at least
Or Discovery.
Zaslav is coming in with a capitalist agenda. I it's too early to tell. I know the Snyder Bros are taking all their shots at James Gunn. I think James Gunn is going to try to give DC movies something the fans will appreciate and like. He has to, like, people are like, oh, James Gunn, The Flash was a bomb. Like, James Gunn had nothing to do with The Flash. Like, James Gunn has nothing to do with the new Blue Beetle movie. James Gunn has nothing to do with the new Aquaman movie. He had some reshoots, but I think they're trying to like tiptoe through all of the Hamada, Jeff Johns, Diane Nelson garbage that like sank DCU and got them all fired in the first place. All those people that made these movies got canned. Like,
oh, did Jeff Johns get fired?
Jeff Johns?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like his CW.
Oh, I have no idea. Yeah,
like I think he's still writing comics at DC, but he's not a producer or anything on any of this new stuff. Like he's an executive producer on all these movies, like on Flash. He was a producer on that. On the Aquaman movie, I'm sure he's an executive producer on that. Probably Blue Beetle. But this is all the old regime. These are the last movies of the old regime. You won't see a new movie from the James Gunn regime until Superman Legacy comes out. That'll be the first movie that they created, they had control of. So I like a lot of Snyder Bros are just, they want to tear down James Gunn because whatever. But James Gunn wasn't the problem. Like if they're pissed at anybody, they should be pissed at Hamada and Jeff Johns. Those are the guys that shit on the Snyder universe. So like James Gunn is like, all those guys are washed away. James Gunn is the new thing once Superman Legacy pops out. So, but yeah, like if Disney wasn't going broke because it's going woke, there would not be rumors about Disney selling to Apple. And you can say Apple is woke too, but it's like, yeah, and then maybe Apple's starting to start going under because they're woke. It's like everything woke touches gets destroyed. And like something new, it will come up and take its place because that's just how capitalism works. And they can try and shove their agenda, but it doesn't work. Like over and over it's shown this is what happens. So it's entertaining to watch and it's fun to be right.
You know what Disney needs? Disney just needs some new assets. Maybe they should buy Death Raider.
Yeah.
I will let them have it cheap. Ish.
I think Disney could right the ship. I think Disney could right the ship tomorrow if they gave up with the agenda stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
If they went back to what they were doing 10, 15 years ago, paying the writers, paying the creators for the best quality, fan-friendly, family-friendly material. Like Disney was killing it 10 years ago. It's the last 10 years of this agenda-driven bullshit, and they've killed themselves at every corner. And it's like
Bob 66 says, "No, Rob. Hey, don't Bob. If I sold Death Raider to Disney, it would be for like $1 million or more,
yeah.
and I've got lots of other ideas. I
That's
would
the
just
thing,
turn
is
around and do another. You literally would
I
see
would
me
have.
promoting my next project 2 weeks from now.
That's the thing, is you and me are on the same page, because like I would
Yeah.
talk to other comic creators and they're like, "Oh, you would never sell." I'm like, I'd sell this idea in a heartbeat if somebody wanted to buy it from me and try and turn it into a movie. I'd sell in a heartbeat. You know why? Because I got 10 other ideas waiting.
Yeah.
Like I'm not short on ideas. I got characters up the wazoo. It's just a matter of how much time I got to make all these comics. But if somebody wants to buy this from me, I'll sell it today, and
Yeah,
I'll move on to the next thing.
I got another character right on deck that was going to be in place of Hercules in Death Raider, but because I decided to go with Death Raider in Hercules, this other character is now just kind of sitting in a drawer.
Sitting there waiting for you to do that.
Just waiting for Disney to buy Death Raider property.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, he's like, "I'm on deck. You're on the team. Move you up to varsity, just like that."
Yeah.
Well, of course they will. Yeah.
well, we went for a while now here, so
we ramble for 2 hours.
It's been it has been 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours and 5 minutes.
26 seconds. So no, I think we covered a lot of bases tonight, and good stuff. If you guys have not backed Death Raider, go back Death Raider right now at Indiegogo. Links are in the description. Links are in the chat. I think Randy and Marcus have both put them out there. Back Death Raider today. If you haven't checked out Maidens of Mayhem, go check out the sign-up page. I got some art and some of the variant covers on there. I'll talk more about that book as things go on. But yeah, definitely.
Clint, what about Superiors? Can they still get that?
Superiors is on Indiegogo.
So they can get that
links in the description. If you guys want to check out Superiors, I'm going to probably be wrapping that up early August, and start shipping that book out. So if you haven't backed Superiors yet, go click the link. It'll take you right there. And I'm going to try really hard to have that book start shipping in August here. So not too far off. So lots of stuff going on, lots of new books, lots of books getting finished and sending them out. Lots of books that are live right now for you guys to back. There's always exciting stuff going on with Comicsgate. That's where the action is right here. Me and Rob do our show, Comic Smack Talk Live, usually Sunday nights, but sometimes on Thursdays. We like to spice it up a little bit. We'll probably have a new show Sunday night. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Randy, Bub, Marcus. I think I saw Southern Cecil in here. Appreciate all you guys being in the chat live during the show. It's always great. SF Gaming in the house. It's always fun having a bunch of people in the chat. If you catch us on the replay, love you guys showing up to watch this after the fact and checking everything out. Check out Death Raider on Indiegogo. Check out Maidens of Mayhem on Indiegogo. Check out Superiors on Indiegogo. And then hit that like for the show, and then hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel. Me and Robert trying to build this up into something fun, and we appreciate all you guys being here. Anything for a sign-off, Rob? No, we're good?
No, we're good. I just hit like.
Sometimes I feel like I'm rambling, and then I realize maybe I should shut up and let Rob talk for a second.
Why? So I can ramble?
Yeah, exactly. That's what this show's about.
A new character. Ramble. Yep. That's my next.
Appreciate you guys being here. Everybody have a great Friday and a great weekend coming up. Me and Rob probably Sunday night. Come check us out. We'll put links on Twitter. And everybody have a great night. And we are outie.
Bye-bye, everybody.